Have you ever been part of a team or maybe even led one where everyone just seems constantly busy, checking off tasks, endless meetings, sharing updates?
All emotions?
Exactly. But for some reason, nothing truly seems to move forward. It's that really subtle, frustrating feeling where there's just this flurry of activity, but like a surprising lack of actual tangible progress.
It's like spinning your wheels.
Totally. Yeah. It's almost like everyone is rowing incredibly hard, but maybe in slightly different directions, and the whole boat is just adrift or, spinning in place.
Yeah, busy but not productive. It's a classic trap.
Today, we're doing a deep dive into that exact problem. We're going to unpack why collaboration often fails, kind of quietly, and maybe more importantly, how to fix it.
Sounds good.
Our deep dive today is based on this really compelling article by Donna Franklin West called Stop Leading in Silos. Think of this as your shortcut to understanding those silent killers of team momentum. It offers some really clear strategies to, course correct.
And our mission here really is to unpack the critical elements of building true team collaboration. We want to move beyond just, assuming collaboration is happening, to looking at practical leadership practices that create genuine, unstoppable momentum. The goal is to give you a clear path, hopefully, to transform that feeling of busyness into genuine alignment for your team.
Okay, so let's peel back the layers on this silent killer the article talks about. Yeah. Teams failing, but not with a big bang, more like a quiet whimper.
Yeah, it fizzles out.
West explains it's usually not about lack of effort or laziness, right? Yeah. It's about teams being out of sync. When collaboration is assumed but not built, it's this underlying issue, maybe leaders unintentionally prioritizing individual wins over shared outcomes that can really just grind things to a halt.
Exactly. And what makes this silo problem so insidious is how subtle it is. It's not chaos, usually. It's more like a quiet hum of activity that just ultimately leads nowhere. The article really hits this hard. You see the tasks checked off, meetings fill the calendar, updates get shared.
All the signs look good on the surface.
Right. But without that true connection, all that progress just kind of evaporates. It's like being on a high-speed treadmill, You're moving, you're sweating.
But you're not actually going anywhere.
Precisely. And that's why the article says progress without connection doesn't last.
What really struck me, reading her personal experience, was this moment she describes leading a team. They were all highly skilled, committed people.
Yeah.
Yet she realized each of us worked in isolation. They were so focused on what they were doing, the tasks.
The deliverables.
But not why they were doing it together. It sounds so simple, doesn't it?
It does, but it's huge.
But the shift, as she lays it out, only came when they finally aligned around a shared goal.
Yeah.
That's when the wheel stopped spinning, and they actually found traction. It's a really powerful illustration.
So, if this silo problem is this sort of hidden drain on energy and progress, the question becomes, okay, how do we shift? How do we get from just checking boxes to genuinely moving forward together?
Right.
The article gives us this incredibly sharp diagnosis of it's not a productivity issue, it's a silo problem, which, immediately makes you ask, what does real impactful alignment actually look like? What does it feel like? And crucially, how do we build it systematically?
And the article gives us a really clear foundational starting point for that. Start with a shared vision. This is so crucial because, as the author puts it, when people don't know why their work matters, they disconnect.
Totally.
It's just not enough to assign tasks and hope for the best. Yeah. It's like, asking people to build a house without showing them the blueprint first.
Exactly. And the leader's role here, as the article describes it, is to constantly ask and re-ask, why does this project matter? To the team, to the organization. What's fascinating here is how understanding the impact, not just the instruction, directly fights against those silos and builds momentum.
How so?
Well, when a team really gets the bigger picture, they tend to take more ownership. They start contributing ideas, not just churning out deliverables. It's almost like that shared why unlocks a different gear, moving them from task doers to actual problem solvers.
That makes sense. It also sets the stage perfectly for that powerful quote they highlight from Patrick Lencioni.
Oh yeah, the Lencioni quote.
The first dysfunction of a team is the absence of trust. Without trust, nothing works. It just really underscores that deep kind of relational foundation you need for any real collaboration.
Absolutely. And the article connects those dots perfectly. Yeah. A shared vision builds connection, right? And then trust keeps it alive.
Oh, okay.
You need both. One without the other leaves you vulnerable to those silent failures where even if you have a clear goal, if there's no trust, progress just erodes from the inside out.
Okay, so a shared vision gives everyone a destination.
Yeah.
But how do we make sure everyone's, taking the right turns to get there?
Good question.
That's where the article pushes us towards the next really practical step. Set clear and measurable team goals.
Yes, specificity matters.
It really does. The article points out a super common mistake. Vague goals kill progress. Saying something like, let's finish this on time.
Yeah.
Well, that's not really a goal, is it?
No, it's wishful thinking.
Exactly. It's a wish. We've all been there, right? It's like throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping one noodle sticks. Sometimes it might, but you're much better off actually having a recipe.
Yeah, exactly. And the practical solution offered in the source is that shift from just hoping to hit deadlines to actually setting specific milestones with dates and deliverables.
Of getting concrete.
Right. The author specifically mentions using SMART goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound. And if we connect this back to the bigger picture, this isn't about micromanaging people. It's about giving everyone the same definition of success, making sure every single person knows what winning looks like, not just for them individually, but for the whole team effort.
And the impact of having that clarity, drawing from the author's own experience again, was pretty significant. She says, everyone knew what came next, who was responsible, and how each step fit into the bigger picture. That clarity made all the difference. That sounds like where the momentum really kicks in, right? Because everyone can see their piece of the puzzle and how it connects.
That's it. No more guessing games.
Okay, so goals give us direction. Shared vision gives us the why. But how do we make sure everyone's voice is actually heard along the way?
Communication. Crucial.
Yeah, the article makes a really strong case for the third element, encourage real communication. And it challenges a common misconception, which I found interesting. Silence in a meeting is not a sign of respect.
Right. We often assume it is.
We do, but the article says it's often a sign of confusion or disengagement. That's a powerful reframe, isn't it?
It truly is. The author talks about how leadership has evolved, or needs to. Strong leaders now make space for discussion. They ask more questions than they give answers. And crucially, they create a safe space for people to say what's working and what's not. Which, really begs the question. How do leaders actually do that? How do they cultivate that space for really candid feedback, especially the critical stuff, without taking it personally? Because leaders often feel such deep ownership.
Oh, absolutely.
It's a skill that directly fuels collaboration, but man, it is tough to master.
It really is. And the author touches on that challenge. She shares this great example where instead of instinctively trying to fix a major roadblock herself, or worse, assign blame.
Yeah, the default reaction sometimes.
Right. The team just paused. Everyone shared what they saw, what they understood, maybe what they didn't understand. And the result?
What happened?
She says, that collective input surfaced the solution we needed. It wasn't about one voice. It was about unlocking all of them.
Yeah.
That really shows the power of real, open communication.
Wow. Collective intelligence in action.
Exactly. Okay, let's shift gears a bit to something that honestly often gets overlooked when we're pushing for collaboration. Recognizing the collective effort.
Celebrating wins.
Yes. The article points out that we're so conditioned, maybe, to shine a spotlight on individual achievements.
Star performers.
Yeah, the stars. That we frequently miss acknowledging what the entire team pulled off together. So what does this actually mean for team morale? For long-term commitment?
Well, the source's insight here is pretty clear. When collaboration is working, success is rarely the result of just one person.
Right.
The author noticed morale actually dropping when progress started feeling routine and people just didn't feel seen.
Interesting.
Yeah. And what's fascinating here is how celebrating milestones, not just the big finish line, but things like solving a tough problem as a group or seeing someone step in to help a teammate who was struggling.
The small victories.
Exactly. Those things built pride. They reminded everyone they were moving forward as a unit. And it reinforces those collaborative behaviors you want to see more of. It's not just about the big trophy. It's about acknowledging the journey and the teamwork along the way.
That makes a lot of sense. Which leads us, I think, to the bedrock of all of this. The article really champions building a culture of trust and accountability.
The foundation.
Totally. Now, trust often gets this sort of soft, fluffy definition, doesn't it?
Yeah, hard to pin down sometimes.
But West offers something really insightful here. Trust isn't about expecting perfection. It's knowing people will own their mistakes when they inevitably happen.
Ooh, I like that.
That kind of reframes everything, doesn't it? It moves trust from being some ideal state to being a practical, active commitment.
Spot on. And accountability, then, as it's described, isn't about control or blame.
Right.
It's about clarity. When each person really understands their role, their specific responsibility, and crucially, their impact on the collective goal, then collaboration has room to grow. And connecting this to the bigger picture, it means nobody needs to constantly chase updates or wonder who's doing what. People can actually lead themselves and each other because the expectations are crystal clear. It creates this kind of self-sustaining momentum.
And the author really emphasizes the leader's crucial role in modeling this. She talks about her own experience, owning mistakes, maybe a missed follow-up, an overlooked detail, whatever it was.
Walking the talk.
Exactly. She did it not just for the sake of the team, but to model what accountability looks like in real time. It's truly leading by example, showing that vulnerability and ownership are actually strengths, not weaknesses to hide.
Precisely. The article reinforces that trust and accountability weren't accidental. They didn't just happen.
No.
They were intentional, and they started with me, meaning the leader. It's a deliberate practice, something you have to consciously build into the very fabric of how your team operates. You can't just hope it emerges on its own.
Okay, so to kind of wrap up our deep dive into stop leading in silos. If you're tired of that feeling, that sense that your team is busy but somehow not productive.
Spinning those wheels.
Yeah, it's really time to look at whether you might be leading in silos. This article makes it powerfully clear. Collaboration is not a buzzword.
Thank you.
It's a leadership practice.
Yeah.
It's something you actively do day in and day out, not just something you talk about in meetings.
And remember, it often shows up in those subtle ways we mentioned earlier. Sometimes it's quiet, right? Missed deadlines that seem small, maybe duplicated work popping up, or those meetings that just solve nothing. They just go round and round.
We've all been in those.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So we really encourage you to reflect on those core questions the author poses. Are your goals shared, or are they just assigned? Are your people truly communicating, or just, exchanging status updates?
Big difference.
Huge difference. Are you actively building trust, or are you simply assuming it exists? The answers to those questions can really tell you a lot about the true health of your team's collaboration.
So take this insight, lead in alignment, set that clear direction, build trust intentionally, make space for those honest, maybe sometimes difficult conversations that actually move the team forward.
Yeah.
The ideal outcome we're aiming for is people understanding that bigger picture, feeling safe enough to speak up, even when it's hard, and working towards something meaningful together. That's how you really build momentum and avoid that quiet, frustrating drain of silos.
Indeed. And maybe one final thought to leave you with, building on all this. Thinking about the nuances, maybe ask yourself, what unhealed leadership habits might I have that could be subtly hindering my team's true collaboration?
Ooh, that's a tough question.
It is. But how might addressing those habits be the very first step to unlocking that sustained momentum we've been talking about and leaving a truly impactful mark?